Good afternoon. It's like I say, I didn't get here early enough to sit there saying good morning, exciting afternoon. That's okay. Judy Allen here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm actually home now. Whoop, whoop. Enjoy being away, but still it's always nice to come home too. So today we're going to be doing the Blessings of Home, some beautiful flowers. And it's a clean stamp. It's got a lot of fine detail and everything on it. You can see that as we create and everything and all. So with that, let's go ahead and get started because we're going to start with something simple and work our way up. All right, let's go down to those hands. All right, so here's what we're doing today. I'm using Blessings of the Home, and you can see when that stamp, it's got a lot of detail, and I'm using also the die set that goes with it. Flowers of Home. So just to give you an idea of what we're working with and so forth and so on. So we'll also be working with some ribbon and possibly some doilies. I haven't decided yet. There's some things I haven't decided. But let's start with a simple, okay? So we're going to do two today. Normally I do one, but we're going to do two today. Because I want to show you a different way to do something. And it's called Versamark. Versamark is, I usually use it when I'm using embossing powders and all. I'm going to heat them up and everything and all. But I'm going to show you how you can just take it and stamp on, let's see, I'm just going to heat this up. So I'm going to ink it up just like I would regular ink, right? So the only difference is that when I go on here and I stamp it on here, I'm going to stamp this one on the side because I can, right? Just this one on the side. Down about here. And give it a moment to dry, and you'll be able to see that it's going to give you a nice little outline. I'm going to let it dry a moment. Because it takes, so the reason why this works so well when you do heat and stamp, is because of the fact that it takes a little bit longer to dry than the regular inks do. And that's why you can use some of the heat embossing. The other thing that I'm going to use different today too, because you can see the details, look at all the details here. So I want to be sure to get the ink all cleaned out here well. So I'm going to use my stamping scrub today, and it's just moist over here with some mist. Just misted it here, and then this is actually dry, so I can dry it off. Now you'll see it more when I go into the blue, how it cleans that off. But I want to at least show you that because I'm going to be using that, and that's a little different. So I'm waiting for this to get a little bit darker, and it will. You can see it's already getting a little bit darker already. So it just gives an image of what we've already stamped. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stamp the sentiment here. And the one that I've already got, now I'm actually going to use crushed curry here because I want this to show up a little bit darker than that image. This one says just for you. So just going to take it. This one's actually from a different stamp set. And see how it comes up really nice like that. But you can see how this is getting darker. And it'll take a few minutes, like I said, a little bit longer to dry than the regular ink does. And I'll show it to you in a little bit when we finish the other stuff, and we'll come back to it and show you. But for the moment, I at least wanted to show that to you, that it is another way to get an image, sit there and stamp on, without using another color ink. Alright, so what I'm going to do with this one here is I'm going to use this here. So we're going to do our little 3x3 card, just like I did just then. And we're going to stamp it. We're just going to go monochromatic. Monochromatic is very easy to do. And these flowers are so detailed and pretty. And I'm just going to come right down the middle here. I'm just going to come right across the card. And see how beautiful and all that detail? Now you don't get that out of the polymer stamps, but you do get that out of the clean stamps. So you can see all the ink I have here. So with all that detail, you do get ink in between. And sometimes I can get it clean just with my regular cleaning, and sometimes I don't. But if I can't, then I just come and I just take it and come across this. It's got very fine little brushes on it. Let's see if I got the wet side. Yes, this is the wet side. Just making sure. Anyway, I might have to mist it a little bit more again because it might have dried out from when I had it earlier. Because that's what it looks like. But anyway, usually it'll get it all out. I'm going to have to mist it again because it's not very damp anymore. You know, it's not that you're supposed to drench this, you just actually just sort of mist it, and it's got a cleaner that you can put on it, but it'll get all of that off. So that's got a little dry on me at the moment. Let's see if I can get it off with this here. Just to show you that there is a difference in, it's really about getting all the ink detail out, right? Because if I come up with another ink on it, I'm going to make sure all that's out. Okay, looks like we got it pretty good and clean there. Between the two of them. I just need to put some moisture. And then I'm just going to stamp this here. And I'm going to stamp it with the same thing just for you. Because these are nice little cards that can go to anybody for anything, right? You could do it for a birthday. It could be just to say hello. I can tell you what really goes nice with this is some flowers. Just saying, just putting it out there. And you sit there, and there you go. So it's ready to go. So that's what I like about when we do it nice and simple. It's just ready and easy to go. And then I would like to add some bling, right? You don't have to add bling, but I am. You could also add a little bit of ribbon if you wanted to. I didn't plan on adding a little bit of ribbon. I liked it just the simplicity of it as it is. I think many times we think, hello Jennifer, it's good to see you. Many times, I know, it's Wednesday. Whoop whoop, half the week is over. Alright. But yes, many times you think a card has to be like really complicated or really has to have layers and layers and layers. It doesn't. It makes a beautiful card, don't get me wrong. Where am I going to put my third one to down here? Don't get me wrong, it's very beautiful, but you know what? A simple card is just as beautiful too. And that's why I always like to show you the little 3x3s. You can also do this on a regular, what is that, 4.25 by 5.5 card. So it's just as easy to do it there too. But monochromatic can be very elegant, very beautiful. I tell you, the other thing is this would look very beautiful into is black and white, right? Okay, let me set that aside and let's go step it up. Let me get these out of the way because we're going to take it up a notch now. I don't know if we're going to use the same bling. I don't know if we're going to even use bling on the next card. But you get choices here, so we'll see what you think. Alright? So I have already die cut some things out. So what you can help me decide is, here's what our layering is going to look like. We're going to have this here, like this right here. And then we're going to have this on top. And then we're going to have this on top of this. How about that? Alright, so the question is, do we want our cardstock to be this light gray? It's a bluish type gray. It's just got a hint of blue in it. If you don't believe it, just compare it to some other grays and you'll see the blue in it. And or the darker like this right here. So, if you're out there, I'm going to go ahead and at least put these two together. And you can let me know what you like better. If you think you're going to like the gray cardstock better, or if you're going to like the blue cardstock better. It's actually called Misty Moonlight. Yep. Misty Moonlight. And that color is going away. It's being retired. May 2nd is the last day that you can get Misty Moonlight. We're going to actually add some ribbon in here too. Okay? So you just have to let me know if you prefer the blue or the gray, or I'm just going to have to make a decision on my own. Which I do that a lot of times, so it's always nice to get input. Right? It is. Alright, so I see Jennifer's out there. Jennifer, what do you think? Do you think you like the gray better? Or do you think you like the blue? We're going to layer. So we're going to layer. So what do you think, Jennifer? The gray or the blue? The blue. Of course you go for the blue. Alright. My favorite piece there. Okay, so blue it is. So let's get this on here. And then we have, like I said, we have some choices of ribbon that I'm going to look at here. There. Let's see what it is there. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now let's set that aside. And the rest we're going to put up on dimensionals, right? Yep, that's what we're going to do. So see how pretty it really makes that pop? And then what we're going to do here is we're just going to leave this, layer these. Now, the nice thing about this is you can actually put ribbon through here. Let me show you. This die cut, and this one is actually, let's see if I brought that with me so I can see. I don't know. Oh, this is the Scallop Contours die. Yeah, okay, I got that right. Scallop Contours, so if you want to know. So with this, so one of these, this is like the second one up from the smallest. So you get a smaller one and this one. And this is really cool because you can just feed ribbon through here. And so it's just a matter if you want to make a bow, or if you just want to feed it through and leave it at that. In this particular case, I think I want to make a bow, so I'm going to cut off what I think is about 7 inches, give or take. Don't hold me to that. I just need to have enough ribbon to make a bow, right? So it just lifts up real easy. And then we can either stamp flowers on here or message, but I had planned on doing a message, okay? But at least wanted to show you that. I'm not going to tie the bow yet. I want to get my message on there. Just have to tug a little. Let's see what I did. There we go. Okay. So I'll try to get it at least equal. Alright? So I have options. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp this. I'm going to stamp a message on here. I'm going to stamp it. Whoop, sorry about that. I'm just going to stamp it from one of the messages here. They got a lot of beautiful messages. I think I'm going to... What a beautiful day for love. Alright, let's see if I got that one already out or not. If not, we'll use another one. Let's see here. Yeah, we do. Okay. Had to check it out. So when I did this, I wasn't sure which message I wanted to use. Right? And I had the right to change my mind too. And I'm just going to, I know this might drive some of you crazy. But yes, I'm going to just do it like right here on the back side of the other stamp I just did. And I can take that off and put it on my other block for the moment. I have been known to just leave them there, but this one is a little bit more difficult to see. And I'm just going to stamp it, right? And then we'll go ahead and get our bow on there. So if I'm going to put a bow, I'm going to make sure, I want to make sure this is to the right of it, right? So then when I do my bow, it's right over there. I'm just going to clean our stamp. And that's the moistest spot I can find. Okay. So this is what's nice and stiff. So we're actually stepping it up, right? So we've added some paper here. We're not just stamping. We're going to add this up on dimensionals. And we'll just get those dimensionals right now and get this up. And I had choices. I didn't have to do, I also had the silver ribbon. I'll show you it as well. That could have just as easily used. It won't go as easily through here. But the silver mesh, I'll show you how it looks really nice. Let me just unravel it here a moment and show you. I feel like in my sewing area. Alright, this would go very nicely behind here. Now, I don't know. You can tell me whether you think 2 ribbons would be okay or not. I mean, this always looks beautiful on a lot of things. Let's see here. Let's see here. See if I get any more comments. And if I do, if not, I'm going to forge on. I think I'm going to quickly put this silver on. Because you know what? It's just very light. So, and I'm gonna put it down in the center here, right? I'm gonna use some glue dots to hold it down, and then when I go and put this other on top, it's gonna cover all this, right? So I don't have to worry about as I mail it or give it to someone it's gonna be sticky. Because we don't want it to be sticky, right? For when they touch it. Alright, I've got one more right here. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so we're gonna take this here that's on dimensionals. Get everything off. Okay. And see, I'm just going to put it right over here. So nobody's even going to know those little glue dots are back there. They are back there, but you and I know, but not anybody else. Alright, now I'm going to turn around and put this up on dimensionals as well, too. And it's all just about giving it height, right? So all we're doing is giving it some height. If for some reason you didn't like the ribbon after we put it on, all you got to do is cut it and pull it out, right? That's all you got to do. So I'm just going to get it over here as much as I can. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put my dimensionals right here next to it, okay? And the reason for that is that my ribbon won't slide past this point once I get this down. So I'm just going to put this here and get it down, and I'll finish up the ribbon. And then we're done with the exception of putting some bling on, right? We're going to have 2 beautiful ribbons on here. The silver is just going to be very elegant in the background. This sits in the center of this right here just fine. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to snip this because it's already down. I don't have to worry about it. And it doesn't fray, all right? It's not like a ribbon that's going to fray. It's very, if you want to see what it looks like up close, look at that. It's just very flowy, very airy. You'll see me use this a lot. I'll even put it next here so you can see it better. See how airy that is? It's coming back in the new catalog. It was here for the mini catalog in the fall of last year. Now I can either do a square knot here or a bow. I'm going to go for the bow, and if I just can't seem to get that bow going, guess what? Then it's going to become a square knot. That's just the way it works. So I'm just going to take it and spin it around. And you know, sometimes when I do these live, I have to go back and do the bow later. Let's see here. Because I'm not going to sit there and spend all of our time me trying to master a bow on a little card. You know, on video live here on Facebook. Some days I can do it and some days I cannot. And today looks like one of those days I'm not going to do it. Okay. Let me try this one more time this way. It's just tiny. You know, when you're dealing with stuff and it's tiny, it's just tiny. I don't know what to tell you. You know? Okay, let's see how that looks. Oh, okay, there we go. We got it that way. Alright. Boop, boop. Alright, so I'm just going to trim it off. And this I do trim at an angle because that one will fray just a little bit. And I'm just going to trim it off on this side. And what do you think? So it's easy to move this. I should say it's easy. You can shift it a little. And I can pull it, tug it a little bit, and so forth and so on. Because I really don't want to hide my words, right? So we'll have to come back and just tug on that a little bit. Most probably I would tug on it this way so it would come down to the bottom. It does remind me of working with fabric. There we go. Okay, so it's easy to do that. What a beautiful day. And we are going to put just a little bling on here, right? And I can easily put a medium-sized one down here. Will look very beautiful. And I'm going to put a medium-sized one up here. And then I'm just going to take a big one because I have them, right? I'm going to put it right up here. Okay, so there we go. There's our second card. We've stepped it up. We've added paper. We've added some dimensionals and so forth in here and added some ribbon. Now, we're going to step it up even more. Okay, so let me just set this aside and let's go to our third card. So our third card, we're actually going to do a little coloring. How about that? Not coloring per se in the aspect of coloring the flower in or anything, but we are going to use a blender brush to sit up there and do this honeycomb. This is actually die cut honeycomb on white, and what I've brought is some yellow. So this is bright. I got Pacific Point that I'm using with these flowers. So we're going to have choices. I have stamped and die cut these flowers so you can see all the beautiful detail. So I've stamped it and I've already die cut it for us, ready to go. So the only thing we're going to do here is I'm going to actually take my brush. Let's see if I see it. Here it is. And what we're going to do is color some of this honeycomb. And this is just a really neat technique. You can do this on any of the embossing. So this is actually embossed with the embossing machine. So you can do this on anything that you emboss if you want to. And let's just see how it's going to look right here. So just so you can see the color, as I used Pacific Point as my paper, so I went ahead and used this bright Daffodil Delight because they're both from the Bright collection. Okay, so see how that is on paper? So I'm going to do the same thing on the honeycomb. I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to come across it. Make sure you get me some ink there. I want to make sure I don't connect a spot because I have a tendency to do that. See how that does that? I just do that in case I have a big old, I have a tendency to stamp it like a stamp versus getting ink all around it. So I just don't want a big old blob of ink. So you can just keep on coloring this with a brush, but see how that does? It's just a nice .3D image, basically, right? It's just a 3D image that you've just cut and colored and given it some dimension there, even more through the color. So that's what I'm doing. See how that looks? And then what we're going to do, we're going to turn around then and put it on the card, right? So see how pretty it is? And if you want it darker, all you got to do is just keep on adding color, right? Just depends how light or dark you want, and you just keep on adding color. And I'll clean my brush off because I can clean that off just with water. This is watercolors, right? In an ink pad. So I'm just going to clean that off with water when I get through later. So here's our regular cardstock. I'm using white, and we're just going to put this. First, we can take this. This is Pacific Point Blue, and it's just 1/4 of an inch smaller than the cardstock. So this is actually, I'm thinking about it. Let's see here. It's actually a 4 by 5 and 1/4 inch. That's correct. I'm going to do my math in my head here. See, you spend just a few days with one of your special peeps, my granddaughter, and have tons of fun, and I have to get back into my math, right? So, there you go. Alright. So yeah, I'm just going to tilt this slightly like this, and it just gives a different look, right? It's not hurting anything, it's just a different look, right? And you've seen me do this before, and we're just going to do it here. Because it brings out a little bit of the white. I just need to tilt it a little, right? I don't need to tilt it a lot. I'm just trying to keep all my paper on the paper, just enough to see the white in this here. Because I'm going to turn around and put this on here with dimensionals, and that's really going to make it pop. You give it, give it a very special look. But you can see the honeycombs. Look at those honeycombs. So you can see all the detail. And like I said, you can make that yellow as dark as you want, or as light as you want, or as bright as you want. It's all fun. It's all fun. I'm hoping I can do, I'm going to see what it's going to look like with just going to put this right here. So this one I'm putting straight, whereas the other one's just tilted a little bit, right? Put that right there. And then I have choices. I have the choice of either putting this here. Now I was going to look at a doily. So let's look at the doilies. I have a couple of choices of doilies. I brought this one, but I don't think I'm going to like the color of this one. Alright. And I have another doily here that I brought as well too. It's just white. I'm not sure that we're going to see the white. We'll look and see. We'll look and see what you think. See, just putting white behind here, you're not going to see this. Now, if I put this here, which is Pacific Point Blue as well, and I wanted to put this up and pop both of those, I could see this behind here. I really wanted to use a doily, but that's just not going to work, right? I got too much white on here. All right, so let's put the doilies aside. That was nice thinking. It's great, nice to know I wanted to do it. And I'm going to do this here. So I'm going to use this here. I'm going to actually put a little bit more yellow in here though. I was thinking my yellow is going to look darker next to that, and if it's not, I actually, ooh, I just stuck my hand in it. If it's not, guess what? Then I actually brought crushed curry, which is definitely darker. But I was wanting this one because it's bright, it's a bright, goes in the bright family just like Pacific Point, so I really had wanted that. So actually, I'm going to do what I normally don't do, and just go ahead and put some heavier color here. And you're not going to see it because I'm staying right here on the white, but even if it did go on that Pacific Point Blue, you're not going to see it, right? Because it's so dark. Alright, let me see how this looks now. See what you think. Because we're going to use this blue here. And I do have ribbon to put around the flowers. We're going to put ribbon around the flowers, and I'm going to show you how we can color that as well. So this is going to see, now the yellow's going to make that pop a lot better now. See how much better that is? I could actually come and put some more yellow like right on the edges if I wanted to. My world's not ending though. Okay? So I'm actually going to put this up on dimensionals. As I'm looking at those other flowers. But I mean the two flowers, I'll show you. Because originally I wasn't sure which flowers I wanted to use. But I'll show you. So I have this here. I really love this. I love the detail and all this, and I can put that on dimensionals too. And I also have this smaller one, but it's just almost too much flowers, right? I don't know, you might think differently. I could do that, but I really like this bigger one here, right here. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to show you how I can color some ribbon and put some ribbon around the bottom of those flowers. We'll put this on dimensionals too. And we're going to put them just down the center, right? Because this is going to be a little bit bigger than the die cut here I did out of the contour dies. And I'm just going to put it like right there. See how pretty that is? It's just very elegant and pretty. Now, so what I can do here is, this is what I wanted to do, is take a look at dyeing this here. I shouldn't say dyeing, it's coloring it. This is cotton ribbon. And we're going to see if we can color this or not. If not, I also have some other ribbon. But let's see this one here, because I really wanted to use this one. And you can, you know, and they're ribbons, especially if they're white. You can come along and you can color them. Now, I'm not sure if I can get that dark enough, though. And it doesn't look very dark. It's colored, but it's not very dark. Okay, so if it's not very dark, we're not going to be able to see it, right? So I did bring along another color. And yes, I'm fixing to do what I tell you not to do. And I'm going to use the same brush because it's a darker color. And I'm just going to come over it, okay? Now see how much that, oh yeah. See how much darker that is? Now see how that's going to stand out more? Let's see if I can get that straight so you can see it. That's actually going to stand out more because the other was so light you could hardly see it. And I just wanted to put a bow right there, and I wanted to match, right? So even though I'm using a different color yellow, and it's a darker yellow because this is crushed curry and the other one was Daffodil Delight, which is a light, bright, sunny color. You can see though that it still goes well, right? It's just shades of yellow. That's what it looks like, just shades of yellow. And you can see I'm touching this and it's dried already, so it's not like you have to wait for it to dry. It's just sort of like it goes on the paper as it dries really quick. And you just want to get enough ribbon that you feel that you want to make a bow. So I'm not going to wrap this around anything else. All I'm going to do is make a bow and put it right there, and then I'm going to put a message across, alright? So I already know I brought some scrap white to make a message. There should be plenty for me to make a bow. Then all I'm going to do is take and make my bow, and I'm going to close my ink up. I think I'm going to close my ink up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is take and make my bow. You know, and that's what one thing I like about the ribbon is that, you know, sometimes you don't have the exact color that you want to use or whatever. Well, you can go and create your color. I do have some, I did went ahead and brought some blender pens just in case to color the ribbon if I had to. I could have, and I'll show you. So see, I can just put my ribbon right down here. It's just going to hang off, and I'm just going to put it on the glue dot. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's a blender pen. This is their color mark blender pens. It's not the markers. They actually have markers also, but this is just, they call it the, well, where did it go? Right here. It tells you, so that you always know is this. They call this actually a marker, Stampin' Blend markers. So they actually have other type of markers that are different, but this one actually has the tip down here and one that's more flexible down here, more like a brush. So this is the end I'm going to use, and just to show you, I'm actually using Daffodil Delight on this ribbon here, and I'm just going to run this across. Now you can see I'm getting a much darker color with this than I did with the actually using the pen. So see, you might want to use that and see how that goes through. And I just want to give you choices. It's all about choices. I like choices. But look at the color then on that ribbon. And it's almost the same colors I got right here that I've used by using crushed curry. So it's something you might want to play around when you're doing that, just to show you that you know how the stuff works and what is easiest for you and what you want to do. For me, I had the brush and the pad here already, so the grandkids actually use the blender stuff more than white when it runs out of color. So you don't have to worry about knowing or guessing. Well, where'd my glue dot go? It stuck to my finger, that's where it went. Okay, cool beans. You can tell I'm home again. That glue dot stuck to me. Alright, so then all I'm going to do is take this to the side, trim it. And I'm just going to make a little tag. We're going to stamp a message on the tag, and we just got a nice, another nice, very elegant card that we stepped up, that we did some embossing here with. We also colored the ribbon, and we did some die cutting here. And so that's the main things that we've done here that have stepped it up really nice. And we are going to add some bling as well too. So let me get our tag on here, and get our scrap piece of paper, and get us a message stamped on here. And we will be calling it a day. So I'm going to stamp this one, have a perfect birthday. Yes, I do have that one. And I'm looking to see if I have a block. Yeah, I see my block over here that's much larger for this. Okay, so this is very long, okay? So you're going to have to either have a medium-sized block that you can sit there. Yes, I'm going to sit there and have my stamps and my stamps. But I can see it, okay? So that's the difference. The main thing is I got to be able to see it. Alright, so I'm going to just stamp this in the blue. Alright, and then we're just going to cut it out with some scissors. We're not going to get a paper trimmer or anything like that. We're just going to stamp this on here. And we're just going to fussy cut it out by hand, not fussy cut. There's no fussy cutting to it. And I'm going to put this over here to clean that. Our ink out of the way. I've already got enough ink on my hands already. You can see that's not too bad right now. I did wash my hands. You know, sometimes I still have some ink left. And this is what I'm going to do, is just going to trim it off. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, right? I'm just going to trim around the words, and I'm just going to put it on here with some dimensionals. Now I've got a lot of dimensionals going on over here, so we'll have to look at that and see how I'm going to do that. Because I did I just did 2 layers of dimensionals. One for the center die cut blue that I did, and then the flower itself is on dimensionals. And then you just see, this makes a nice tag. So I'm just going to put this right across here. So I can actually use small dimensionals here, which I have those handy. I'm reaching over there. And I'm just going to put them along the center, right? Because that's all I need to do. Because I'm just going to put it in the center because it'll fit perfectly across the flowers. And I have to tell you, especially for guys, you know, when I go to assisted living, when they see beautiful flowers, it's like the flowers have to be on top of everything, right? Somebody trained them very well, and they know that women like flowers. I think that should be enough. So they always make sure the beautiful flowers, no matter what color they are on top, so that you can see them, which I think is very special. So if I have paper that's got flowers on one side and I was planning on using the other, the guys make sure the flowers are on top. Alright, so all I'm going to do is just tuck this a little bit right here with my ribbon. I could easily pull the ribbon off, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to have a perfect birthday. It's going to come across the flowers. And yes, I got to have a little bling, right? Somebody's birthday, it's a birthday card. You know, you want to be very special. And I'm actually going to take one of these bigger blings. I'm going to just put it right in the middle of this big flower right here. And these flowers you can easily color as well too. And we'll have to do another example for you to show you how to do that. But it's just coloring. It's coloring whatever colors you want. And we're just going to put some bling over here. Even though we got the honeycombs there, we can still put bling on top. And I'll put one down here. Alright, so we got 3 blings on here. So, let me just move it aside so you can see here. Here's where we started simple. Right here. And we just did a simple stamping on our 3x3 card. Then we stepped it up by adding some paper. We just added some paper, we added some die cutting and a ribbon here, and we added some ribbon here too. And then we stepped it up further here by doing some embossing here. And we used a brush to color the embossing. And then we also did a die cutting here as well as adding and coloring ribbon here. So, there you go. There's our simple, we stepped it up and we stepped it up further. So, with that, I hope you enjoyed that today. If you do, I would appreciate it if you would share with others, inspire others. That's what it's about. It's inspiring others. It's about creating together, sharing, and giving the cards to somebody, right, to make their days. So that's what it's all about. So have a blessed week. Be sure to share our YouTube, and you can share our Facebook, as well as we're on Twitter as well too. So we always get the pictures of them posted. We always have the directions on YouTube, as well as we have the stuff on Facebook as well. So have a blessed week. Go out there, create something, share, and give it away to somebody, all right? Look forward to seeing you next week. But keep it simple, stepping up. Judy Allen here, San Antonio, Texas. Bye.